Recently I decided that I was going to make an everything wrong with The Sims 4 video, but when I was making the script for it, I realized that there is one part of The Sims specifically that I've never seen someone make a video on, and I think it deserves it because there is a ton of content there. From creators getting doxed and threatened because they didn't update their mods fast enough, to people charging $80 real-life dollars for a build that comes with 70 gigabytes of broken custom content. Today's video is going to be about The Sims 4's CC problem. I used to be a completely vanilla simmer, and I thought it was pretty cool for it too, that I could enjoy the vanilla game without any mods, but once I got the first taste of custom content, for anyone wondering, it was Wing Sims Hairs for The Sims 3, and if you know, you know, it is impossible to go back to vanilla once you download your first piece of custom content. My Sims 3 mods folder is, I believe, 70 gigabytes now, and my Sims 4 mods folder I had to start over because it was over 100 gigs and my game wouldn't load, so now I think it's at like 60 or something. I do have a problem. I'm aware of that, and I have to say, if it wasn't for the modding community in The Sims 4, I wouldn't be playing that game anymore. I would just go back to The Sims 3. Mods make the game so much more enjoyable. I definitely wouldn't have as many hours as I do in the game if it wasn't for mods. However, there's the reason why I'm making this video. If you've been enjoying custom content for multiple years like I have, you've probably noticed that over the past few years, something has drastically changed. All of a sudden, almost everything is paywalled. It's almost impossible to go CC shopping nowadays. Want this cute bedroom set? Well, sorry bud, you've got to wait over a month for it to come out of early access. You like this hair? Well, I guess you got to bookmark it for later because it's not available to the public for 3 more weeks. Did you hear that? I think my cat's in my Christmas tree anyway.
My son Jasper, I appreciate that.
It wasn't always like this. Sites like CurseForge and Modco and whatever the newest one is, they were not always the norm. I remember going CC shopping back in 2014, and basically every link was a Sims file share link. It was easy, it was free, but now damn near every CC set is put behind a paywall, and I've noticed that some of the people who make these sets don't even play The Sims 4. They don't even go here. Sometime in the past few years, creators from IMVU and Second Life, you know, those games you were groomed on by an older man when you were 12 years old, those creators came in. They will admit to you that they do not play The Sims 4. They also don't play or test their stuff. But they know that there's a lot of money in Sims 4 mods, so they make their CC, they release it, they charge $10 for it, and for some reason, people always pay for it. These people always have a bunch of patrons. This practice has annoyed me for many, many years now, so I decided, you know what? It's time to make a video on it.
Disclaimer.
I want to make it very clear that I'm not an electronic arts Janny. I don't mean to suck up to them in any way, but for the sake of my argument, I think it's very important that we look at electronic arts terms of service when it comes to mods. I have contacts in, I don't know why I'm doing this. You are user-generated content, UGC. You allow EA and our players to use anything you upload or create for free within our games and services. You are responsible for your UGC. It must be your own content. Keep that in mind for later. Mods must be non-commercial and distributed free of charge. Mods can't be sold, licensed, or rented for a fee, nor can mods contain features that would support monetary transactions of any type. We recognize that creating mods takes time and resources. To offset these development costs, mod developers may offer an early access incentive for a reasonable amount of time. After a reasonable early access period, all players must be able to access the mods in full for free, regardless of whether they donate. They can also run passive advertisements and requests for donations, so long as they are limited to the mod website or distribution site and don't appear within the mod itself. Okay, so we've run into our first issue already. What the f is a reasonable amount of time? I'd say that a reasonable amount of time to paywall your CC is a week. Others might say that a month is reasonable. Some might say 24 hours is reasonable. EA themselves have said that 21 days is the amount of time that you're supposed to put your CC behind a paywall, But after they said that, they turn around and work with modders who break that rule. They will paywall their content for multiple months and EA doesn't bat an eye. In fact, they'll reward them for this. For example, there's this guy called SixMCC. If you download custom content for The Sims 4, you know of him. He's one of, if not the most popular CC creator out there right now. And he consistently paywalls his stuff for 2 months. As of recording this, there is a set that he put up for early access in October that is still locked behind a paywall 2 months later. And then the cherry on top is, once you finally wait the 61 days and go to download one of his sets, you are greeted with a CurseForge link. So he's making money off of you downloading it from there too. Brother, how much money do you need? When EA decided that they were going to collaborate with custom content creators to make the kits, which, okay, tangent. I'm not here to shame you for what you decide to spend your hard-earned money on. Well, actually, yes, I am. I'm here to shame you. Why are you still purchasing the kits? Why are people buying these things? I understand that within the Sims community, people have a fear of missing out on the packs. I used to be one of those people. I used to pre-order every single pack because I would see that the game changers, or whatever they're called nowadays, they were getting it early and I would watch all their videos and I would really want the pack too. But I've realized, especially when it comes to kits, it's not worth it. Is it really worth $5, or do you just have a fear of missing out? Because you can get the free custom content version of basically every kit, I'd say with the exception of Bust the Dust, because that comes with gameplay. But the poolside lounge kit, for example, Max20 made a even better version of it and it's free to download. I know what you're gonna say. I hear you typing. But Bailey, console players can't download mods. They have to pay for the kits. I don't think so. Console players are the weakest link. You do not need to pay $5 for a kit to get a new kitchen set. Just work with what you have already or play on your PC. Anyway, so EA and SixMCC work together on the new Vampire Nursery kit. I think that's what it's called. I don't know every name of every kit. There's like 40 now. And you'd think that because this is such a great opportunity for Sixim, that he'd really go out, you know, he'd really show off. He's getting a bunch of exposure. He's getting a cut of the money that they make off this kit. But no. In this teeny tiny little kit, there are errors, and you'd think that not only would SixMCC player test this stuff, but also Electronic Arts. But then you realize that they fired their quality assurance team and are now outsourcing that work to underpaid workers overseas, so it actually makes a lot of sense. So not only is EA seemingly purposefully vague about their own TOS, leading to a ton of infighting and well-meaning creators not knowing exactly what to do, but they're also rewarding creators who break their terms of service, like Harry and her bald boyfriend, who paywall their custom content for months at a time. They get the packs for free and early, so they can make more CC using them. Or like with Sixim, they work directly alongside him even though he paywalls his stuff for 2 months.
Love,
Being alive,
love,
being alive,
love, love,
being alive. I'm a tremendous
joy,
I'm a tremendous
joy.
Not all custom content is created equal. Some require making a mesh completely from scratch, designing each swatch yourself, making sure that each and every little texture is perfect. If you've seen what goes into making a custom skin, you know that this is an art form. But that's not to say that you, yes you, can make custom content. Anybody can do it. There are tons of tutorials on YouTube on how to make CC. I myself am pretty technologically illiterate. I had to look up a tutorial on how to open a file using WinRAR. But even I have gotten into creating custom content a little bit. I'm no expert, but I know how to do recolors, especially with posters. They are really easy. They take about 20 minutes to learn how to do. So if you ever see someone paywalling posters, just know that it took them 20 minutes. You can do it. You can make whatever designs you'd like. You don't need to pay for this. Editing an EA mesh is also pretty simple. Obviously it's 3D, so it's harder than making a poster or a recolor, but I personally don't believe that people should be paywalling these items. They didn't make them from scratch. It's fairly simple. You too can do it. You shouldn't be charging real life money for this. But of course, this is the Sims community we're talking about, so people are gonna paywall this stuff. They take a shirt from Cottage Living, crop it a little bit, take off the sleeves, and then add sleeves from a Jungle Adventures top, let's say, and then boom, my own personal work, do not steal. Like, if you know, you know, whenever a new pack comes out, there are always dozens of people who want to charge you money for the same slight edits to meshes. Like, they turn a short hair into a long hair, or a long skirt into a short skirt. You've seen it, I know you've seen it. You know that high school year's hair? Everybody and their mother was trying to make you pay for a little edit of that hair. Just don't give in. Don't give these people money. I'll give you an example. So Jolly Bean recently released a Twilight set. Tell me what you think of when you think of Twilight. Like Henleys, vests, layered tops, ripped tights, vintage jewelry. What is this theme? She says that she's a big fan of Twilight. I know I'm being a petty bitch here. This is not Twilight. This is like justice. Anyway, that's not what matters here. Every item in this set, which she was charging for, is a slight edit of a mesh that EA created. She didn't make any of this stuff. She just edited it slightly. Like, look at this skirt. Or how about these pants? How long do you think this took her? Like 20 minutes tops? Or how about Green Llama's brat set? I know he got some of your gay asses with the theme, but this set is one of the worst I've ever seen. Every single item is from EA. I can't even spot the edits. I don't know if he edited these at all. And then these boots, he has put these boots in 2 other sets. He wants you to pay for these boots 3 times, and they're ugly boots. No offense, brother. They're ugly. It's just so boring and exhausting, and I really don't know how these people like feel proud of what they're doing. And it sucks because I used to really look forward to what Jolly Bean and Green Llamas would put out. I don't know if it's because back in the day I didn't know that there was so much CC, so just seeing a new set was really exciting. But I think these people actually used to have a lot more love for their craft, and now because they're on Patreon and because they have to put out a new set each and every month, they're getting tired and they're uninspired, but they feel like they're forced to do so that they can make some money. I think that's also why we're seeing the same crop tops and workout sets and swimsuit sets over and over again, because they're the easiest to make. They are simple EA mesh edits, and it sucks because I guarantee you, there are plenty of custom content creators who are doing it for the love of it, and they're also doing it for free, but their posts end up getting buried because they're not getting as many reblogs, they're not friends with all the other CC creators. So I would advise you, if you are on Tumblr or on somewhere where people are posting their CC, make sure to give those people attention. Don't give the people who are paywalling their stuff and making tiny little edits attention. Make sure that you are supporting the people who deserve it. It's one thing to steal from Electronic Arts, but it's a whole nother thing to steal from your fellow artist. And if you're in the Sims community, I know that you have seen this happen time and time again. Recently, a creator named Toys of Dukeness, who makes poses and is very well liked, logged off permanently because they were so fed up with their content being stolen over and over again. They mentioned that multiple creators have done this to them, but the main one is Simsulani, and I recognize that name because I have her poses in my game. If you asked me to name a pose creator, I would have said Simsulani. She's one of the most popular ones to do it. And it turns out that she steals most of her stuff. And this led to multiple other pose creators coming out and saying that Simsulani stole their stuff too. And in fact, there were other people who stole their poses as well. Basically, half of the posing community seems to steal from one another. It just makes you wonder how much CC out there is unoriginal, because Simsulani went under the radar for a pretty long time. How many other people are doing the same thing and just hoping, crossing their fingers that they're not the next to get exposed?
I want everything about my house off the internet!
People in the Sims community are kind of desperate to be victims. Don't tell them I said that. But the worst by far are the paywallers who will dox you if you don't pay for their stuff. Picture this, you're scrolling on Tumblr when you find a new custom content creator that you've never seen before and you really like their stuff, so you decide, you know what? I'm not gonna wait for the paywall to end, I'm gonna go ahead and buy their things. And once you download it to your computer, you decide, I'm gonna be a little mischievous. I heard my friends really want this CC and I have it, so why not just share it with my Discord server? Harmless, right? Actually, no. You're the scum of the earth. You deserve to die. You deserve to be murdered. You need to kill yourself. You need to find a rope. You need to hang yourself in your mother's closet. Well, it turns out someone in that Discord server was a fed, and they snitched on you. And now your address is on the internet, and people are calling your place of work. All over some pixels.
They called my job not once, but twice about cowbell stuff.
There are multiple creators that do this, and allegedly they have group chats where they get together and share the names of people who give out paywall custom content for free, but the main perpetrator of this is Cowbuild. If you've ever paid for Cowbuild's custom content and then maybe given the link to a friend, you're stealing, she hates you, and she wants you blacklisted from the Sims community. But when you look into it, you realize that her custom content is stolen. She's taking it from architecture sites like this place called Covet House. These assets are not meant to be sold, and she's putting it behind a paywall and then getting mad if you dare to steal it. These people barely know how to make custom content by themselves, but they are charging you for it and will DMCA you or give out your full legal name to the entire internet if you dare to share a link with your 5 followers. And again, I need to remind you, this is all over pixels. A pixel fridge that you are putting in your pixel person's pixel house could get you doxed.
I flagged the committee. They got under my skin.
So anyway, that's all I have to say about The Sims 4's modding community. There's so much else I could talk about when it comes to The Sims 4 as a game and then also The Sims 4 community, but I was thinking of making other videos for that. I'm not really sure, but my closing statements are: 1, always remember that you can make custom content by yourself. It's not difficult at all. It is a slight learning curve. I'm not saying that it doesn't take a lot of creativity and time to make CC, but you can do it. There are tutorials out there on how to make anything you want. Never think that you have to pay for something if you really want it in your game. 2, there are plenty of super creative free custom content creators out there. You just have to look a little hard. I would start with the Tumblr hashtag alwaysfreecc. That's a good place to look. And 3, if things ever get real bad, remember, you can always sail the high seas.